Hello YouTube, this is the Broke Gamer and I welcome you back to the channel. And if you're tuning in, this is my Guilty Pleasures video for the 7th generation, basically the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 gen between 2006 and 2013, about when the PS4 and Xbox One have released. And then I'll also be covering some PlayStation Portable because they're traditionally 7th gen as well. And that was the era I've been playing my PSP console also quite a bit. Just before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping from me. Dean, if you're watching this video, I just want to apologize. I tried having a parcel shipped to the US. Unfortunately, the carriers did state that they're not kind of allowing international freight because of the ongoing tensions in the Middle East. So that will be a little bit delayed. I'm just seeing what other alternative I can find. And then to Pop Retro Gamer, thank you so much for the Retro Tink and the upscalers. They do a world of justice with the kind of smoothing on the edges of the retro games that I have tested and I have played. I'll leave a bit of gameplay here so that you can see. Really does make a world of difference for your older games, I feel. So without further ado, let's get started. This is my Guilty Pleasures for the 7th generation. I hope you enjoy. Okay, let's get started with PlayStation Portable. First up, Driver 76, one of my favorite PSP games of all time. This game is very addictive. Open world New York City back in the 1970s. It also serves as the prequel for the Driver Parallel Lines, where you play two timelines between 1978 and then 2006. Both recommended entries. However, for the PlayStation Portable version, it's a very fun campaign, though short in scope, only about 6 chapters with a couple of missions. But the exploration and the open world driving make this a must play and a must own game. Next up, Chili Con Carnage, and this is the sequel to Total Overdose, which is one of my favorite GTA clones with all the Mexican stereotypes. You play as Ramiro, where you're basically trying to find his father's killer, well, in this game. And also, like I said, it's just a lot of fun slow-mo shooting, sort of like Max Payne, but with the obviously Mexican world and aesthetic, all the stereotypes as I mentioned. A very fun game to play. A highly recommended addition to the collection, and one that I think that you can find on the cheap, though even though it is affordable, it is a little bit hard to find. I was able to find this by sheer luck, and yeah, nothing more else I can say. Next up, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force 3. So obviously, as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, an ex-tournament organizer and judge, this was my a staple of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay experience growing up. A lot of fun, very addictive. Also, the campaign was also very well put together, basically emphasizing tag team battles. And it came with these 3 cards, but this was originally my brother's game and he actually asked me just to keep it because I played more often than what he did. So just very fun, highly replayable, but also only, I think, if you are into the niche and are a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist, will this be a worthwhile addition to your game collection. Next up, the Xbox 360, the console my brother and I grew up playing during all those years, long time ago. I'll start with Grand Theft Auto 4, as well as its side-by-side sidekick, that is episodes from Liberty City, basically the stories of Lost and Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. Very fun, action-packed campaigns, well-written characters and storylines for all 3 protagonists. These are must-own for the 7th generation, for the Xbox 360, or even for the PlayStation 3. Also, unlike the ports, or I think the backwards compatible versions for the Xbox One and Series X, It's better owning these games, as Rockstar have actually cut a lot of the music tracks from these two 7th generation games for the newer consoles because of the music license. A little bit of a shame, but not more can be said. Next up, one of my most favorite guilty pleasures, that is Need for Speed: The Run, an action-packed racing thriller that takes place all the way from San Francisco to New York. You play as a Jack, where he has to evade the cops and the mafia, and essentially win the prize money that will help pay off all his debts. This is a highly recommended action game. Don't let the critics get the better of you with their panning and negative reviews. This is essentially a 6-hour action movie, and one that I think all racing fans should be playing. Next up, we have the 7th gen duology, that is Darksiders and Darksiders 2. Basically one of my most favorite of the series. And obviously you take the role of War and then Death, where essentially War has been framed for the premature end of the world. You play his campaign to try and clear his name from his quote-unquote wrongdoings in setting the apocalypse much earlier than anticipated. Highly recommended hack and slashes, both these games. Next up, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. So you can play as racer or cop in this game with a wide variety of cars, from the BMW Z4 all the way up to the Bugatti Veyron. I'd recommend picking up the 7th generation version, as EA still had the rights to Mercedes-Benz vehicles being featured in this game, and essentially in the remastered version they've removed this from the entries, which is a bit of a shame, as it featured one of my most favorite Mercedes-Benz of all time. I'll leave a snapshot here. Next up, Driver San Francisco, open world driver game taking place in the world of San Francisco, featuring real cars instead of the kind of nameless vehicles in the previous entries. A very addictive sort of offbeat campaign, but nonetheless a very fun experience. A highly recommended addition to the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. Next up, okay, I'm a little bit ashamed because I've put hundreds of hours into these games. That is Devil May Cry HD Collection, as well as Devil May Cry 4. So one of the most famous hack and slashes from Capcom, playing the role of Dante in all these games, as well as the story of Nero in Devil May Cry 4. Particularly with this game, I think I've put like 250 hours into the Bloody Palace mode, and I think I still have to date one of the highest leaderboard scores for South Africa, and that was when I checked last in 2013, 2014. I don't know if that's still the case. I recommended hack and slash additions to your game collection. I think this has been ported to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well. Next up, Forza Horizon, one of my most favorite open world races of all time, and I think that won't be changing anytime soon. Basically, Microsoft have tried to capture the magic with their latest 4-5 sequels, and I don't think they match up to the quality and gameplay that this one represented. This was truly a religious experience to play, and one that I highly advocate for adding to the collection. Okay, for the final entry in the Xbox 360 Guilty Pleasure library, that is Eternal Sonata. So this was the game that got me into enjoying and listening to classical music more and more. Also has a unique graphical art style that hasn't been replicated. Truly a unique game. So obviously it features the music of Frédéric Francois Chopin, which is also one of the protagonists of the game. You essentially play his journey between reality and dreams, where he's on his deathbed. Also, the original soundtrack that was composed for this game was done by Motoi Sakuraba, the same composer that did the music for Dark Souls as well as Star Ocean. This is truly a unique game, and one that is a must-play, whether you have the 360 or the PS3 version, which does feature a little bit more additional content. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to the PlayStation 3, and we'll start off with Little Big Planet. I have here the first and the second. So while not replayable in the traditional sense with new additional content, what makes the base games highly replayable is just that fun and adventuristic aesthetic that you take on with Sackboy in both these games. The platforming and the gameplay is highly addictive and fluid. Very, very fun and unique experiences. So if you're a new collector to the PlayStation 3 ecosystem, or just haven't added these games to the collection as a veteran PlayStation 3 owner, I highly advocate for you to add these and to play them. You surely won't be disappointed. Okay, for the next guilty pleasure on the list, Blur, which is essentially a Mario Kart but with licensed cars. You have your power-ups and attacks that you can use during the races. The online service for the game on PlayStation 3 are still active. I do still play now and again when the time allows. Awesome experience that I do advocate for you to add to the collection. For the next entry, I have JRPG, and it's one of my favorites of all time. This is one of my first PlayStation 3 games. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This has also been ported to PlayStation 4, and this is essentially a Studio Ghibli game with the studio that makes the movies that have now turned their attention and made a video game out of the experience. This is developed by Level 5. It's an action RPG. Very awesome campaign, a very well written story. It does have problems here and there with its combat, and some of the boss fights can be a bit of a difficulty spike. However, I highly advocate for you to play this. This is a memorable experience that I doubt I'll forget anytime soon. For the next entry, I doubt I'll be able to make a Guilty Pleasures video without adding this to the list, and that is Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. So my favorite of all the Uncharted games that have been released. This focuses on the lost city of Ubar, which is actually mentioned in the Quran, and obviously this is an alternate retelling of that lost city, as well as its storied history. So a very, very fun, action-packed campaign, and I think one of the best releases for the PlayStation 3. It truly shines and flourishes on the console. A highly recommended entry to the PS3 library. Okay, for the last game, and my favorite video game of all time, which is a bit grand of a declaration, and that is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. This is the very first iteration in the Legend of Heroes franchise, which spans a broad line of games throughout the releases from the 2000s and up till this point. The series is ongoing, and obviously the Cold Steel saga is my favorite. So this is the first in the series which was still released back in the day for the PlayStation 3, and obviously you play the role of Rien Schwarzer from his journey. He was as a student, then becoming a teacher, and then essentially becoming a hero for the country that he is based in. So a truly unique take on the storytelling RPG segment within video gaming. I really feel that this is one that you should play. If you want to play a novel in a video game form, you can't do better than the Legend of Heroes games. So this is one that I highly advocate for you to add to the collection. It's been ported to PlayStation 4, PS5, Steam, and I think Switch as well. I thank you for watching my Guilty Pleasures video for the 7th Gen. So obviously these represent some of our most prized and favorite gaming memories of all time, and one that has left a personal impact upon us. So obviously these won't win any awards like either now or back in the day, but they represent some of our most cherished and favorite memories within the sphere of gaming. Now I'd like to hear from you. What are some of your favorite guilty pleasures? Please let me know down in the comments. I'd like to hear what are some of your epic favorites. So I thank you for tuning in, May you enjoy your games, and we'll chat again real soon. Cheers.